Good morning and welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek.
We are so happy to be here with you today, live and in person, in this, our sanctuary of divine love.
So please enjoy this next song, All That I Need by Michael Gott.
Shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me, comes to me.
Welcome to our Unity of Walnut Creek service. I'm Don Shaw.
Good morning. I'm Danae Legan. And if your birthday is in August, would you please stand? Yes. Let's send our friends some cheer. Woo!
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you, Heart Dream. You are all that we need.
It's up to you.
Also, thank you to marvelous Melissa Olson on the piano and Mr. Rhythm, Larry Curtin.
Woo!
So, say hello to Steve and Mirabai after the service and purchase their music out on the patio.
I invite you now to turn your cell phone to silence as we enjoy this sacred service together. And please join me by turning to the camera and waving hello to our friends at home. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we appreciate you.
Let's acknowledge the land that our center sits on. This land is Ohlone, Bay Miwoks, and Yukat's land. We honor its ancestry and are grateful for those who came before us, and we commit to taking care of these sacred native lands.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. Our vision for the world is we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
Our mission is who we have come here to be. Let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
And if you're here with us for the first time, welcome. Feel free to raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. Any newcomers?
Hi,
Welcome,
newcomers.
welcome. Yay! Please visit our bookstore across the patio after our service to receive a welcome packet and a gift. And if you need assistance in receiving this, please let an usher know. We hope you'll choose to stay with us and meet some of us on the patio after the service.
Connection cards are available in the newcomer's welcome packet and also in the seat pockets in front of you. These are for everyone. With this card, you may submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback or request information. Please place your card in the basket with the offering. For those of you viewing online, connection cards are available on the Watch Live page of our website.
In our excitement to come back together, we will want to greet one. We are unity after all, right? So please consider comfort levels when connecting before and after service with namaste bows, elbow bumps, handshakes, or hugs. We welcome you to socialize on the patio after the service or visit our bookstore.
Mask must be worn while you are indoors at Unity. Please wear your mask properly over your nose and below your chin. And masking outdoors is optional.
We are thrilled that our campus has opened to on-site classes and groups. Many of our classes are available in person and via Zoom.
Does the idea that you have 12 indwelling spiritual powers intrigue you? Go beyond the series of Sunday talks to more fully activate your 12 powers and get them working together for your highest good.
So Dawn and I have already signed up to join Reverend Kristen for Ignite the Powers Within class, beginning Thursday, August 19th. This is an in-person class, and it will run 7 weeks with a break for World Day of Prayer on September 9th. Please pre-register by emailing Unity, office at unityofwalnutcreek.com. There is a sign-up sheet outside on the patio, and the books have been ordered and will be here soon.
We will use the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsitt, which will be available on our bookstore, where you will find additional 12 Powers materials. You may also receive SEE credit for this class through Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute.
Robert Hardy invites you to join and get your creative jump started and paint your own path. Join him on Sunday, August 22nd at 2 p.m. for a creative paint workshop. Robert will give you with a compassionate discovery of what longs to express itself through you. I've signed up. We'll see how that goes.
So if you are a colorful person, this is for you. All paints, supplies, and setup are provided, so all you have to bring is your presence and your willingness to honor your experience. If you have no art experience and wonder how to express without limitations, this is the class for you. Come, play, and discover. See our website to register for this class.
And see our website for a full listing of all of our events, in person or online. And if you're not receiving our weekly e-news, use the connection card link on the Watch Live page to sign up. You may also wish to discuss the Sunday messages and more with your community on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. at the weekly Spiritual Growth Circle. This week, we will meet via Zoom and in person in the sanctuary.
So glad to hear we're meeting in person again. As we prepare for our time of meditation, please join me in taking a conscious breath. And affirming our statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God.
We will begin with a reading by Kristen, music, followed by guided meditation and silence.
Good morning. What's happened here? Everybody's over here, and then we have this small little cluster over here. Well, I'll try to make sure that we're all spoken to and included. It's great, though, that we have so much space and that people can spread out, and today it's cool enough that we can have the doors open in the back. So welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you with us. This reading is from Mary Oliver. It's called I Have Decided. It's a little bit of one of those poems where you need to read it again, I think. So I'll just prompt you with saying that I think what Mary Oliver has decided is to go within. So see what you think. I have decided to find myself a home in the mountains, somewhere high up where one learns to live peacefully in the cold and the silence. It's said that in such a place, certain revelations may be discovered, that what the Spirit reaches for may be eventually felt, if not exactly understood. Slowly, no doubt. I'm not talking about a vacation. Of course, at the same time, I mean to stay exactly where I am. Are you following me?
May the love we're sharing spread its wings and fly across the earth and bring new joy to every soul who is alive. May the wisdom of your grace and peace shine on everyone, and may we all see the light within, the light within. May the heart we're sharing open wide and heal our souls with faith, and may we all realize the path is love. May the love we're sharing spread its wings and fly across the earth and bring new joy to every soul who is alive. May the wisdom of your grace and peace shine on everyone, and may we all see the light within, the light within.
And so we follow this light within us. The path of wisdom that is warmed by love. The path of love that is guided by wisdom. These two, divine light and divine love, may be all we ever need. And so we enter this sacred place with the recognition that we are these things, the essence of love and light, that they dance within us together as partners. Focusing in on the location in our bodies, we come to that pit of the stomach, the place where wisdom rests. And we activate this power simply by bringing our attention there. allowing the divine light to fill us, our entire abdomen and up into the heart area as well. That light may be tinged with yellow, the color of wisdom, kind of iridescent yellow. We feel with every breath how the light casts out shadows, begins to bring us clarity. If you have a question today in your heart for Spirit, this may be a good place to ask it. From within this light inside, giving our question over and allowing the answers to come in their own time, perhaps even in the silence to come. And so let us enter fully this divine light of wisdom, supported by the power of love in the silence. Letting ourselves be bathed in this light. This light that we can project into the world, shine through our hearts, our solar plexus like the sun. The light that guides our path and also blesses others through us and as us. We now ignite this power of wisdom simply by the power of our word and our intention and our attention. So we thank you, Spirit, for the increased wisdom that comes to us in this very moment. We step out of this silence wiser. And so it is. Amen.
May the love we're sharing spread its wings and fly across the earth and bring new joy to every soul who is alive. May the wisdom of your grace and peace shine on everyone, and may we all see the light within, the light within. Sitting in the stillness of my heart, I close my eyes, going deeper within, feeling the truth flow from head to heart, letting the symphony of love begin. Raindrops fall in a clear crystal bowl. Every chord harmonizes my soul. From my dream I awaken to sing. Gratitude and thanks for everything. Violet blue aura in my third eye gives way to dazzling brilliance of light. Filling with peace, my true heart will sing. Gratitude and thanks for everyone is gone. Raindrops fall in a clear crystal bowl. Every chord harmonizes my soul. From my dream I awaken to sing. Gratitude and thanks for everything. Rivers of melody connect me to you. Songs of ancient wisdom arise and flow through, and I melt into the ecstasy of grace, surrounded by love in God's pure embrace. crystal bowl. Every chord harmonizes my soul. From my dream I awaken to sing. Gratitude and thanks for everything.
Raindrops fall in a clear crystal bowl.
That is an original by Heart Dream. It's really beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So good to have you two back. Yeah, it just feels really good to have you home. They come from our church. They go all around, but they come from here, so they're back home. So, and thank you, the little baby, hi, that cried right at the end, or didn't cooed right at the end. That was right on cue. Probably likes the singing bowl. So when I was about 5 years old, I was shopping with my mom and my older sister. And I don't know about you, there's certain things that we love. I still to this day love office supplies, and at the time I loved school supplies. So we were going down the aisle where there was just a rainbow of colors, of markers. And my mom and my sister were chatting, and they were kind of getting ahead of me, and I slowed down just to gaze at them all, and I began to really, really want one of those. And then I noticed that there was a red felt-tip pen on the floor. Now, I was wearing my love dress, and I remember exactly what that dress looked like. I wore it a lot. It was pink with a big white collar and a zipper, and one pocket said L-O in big letters, and the other pocket said V-E, so naturally I called it my love dress, right? And so I see this pen, and my little 5-year-old brain rationalizes, it's on the floor. Nobody's around, it's on the floor, I have the power to make my own choice, Mom's nowhere in sight. And so the pen goes in the love pocket, and I begin to walk. But I only get about 2 steps before this giant woman is looming over me, saying, "Can I have that back?" And I said, "What?" What? Of course, I'm shaking inside, right? And then she says, "That pen that's in your pocket." And I said, "Oh, this?" I found it on the floor. And there was just that moment I know and you know better, right? And she let me go with that, which was very kind. So as I skipped ahead to catch up with my mom and my sister, I had this. It was so visceral. 50 years later, I remember this so clearly. I had this mix of a little shame and so much relief. But really, what I left with that day was not a pen in my pocket, but an experience, a valuable experience that would feed me and help me and guide me in making choices throughout my life. And doesn't this happen for all of us? Last week, Ron Salazar was here. Give thanks for him on 24 hours notice. Yes. He showed up and gave a wonderful talk on the power of love, which was our third in the series. And so today we are on to wisdom. But before we zoom ahead to wisdom, I'm going to dance a little bit with love and wisdom because the two are so intertwined. So you can see why these two powers really need each other. Like, for example, in my story, I really, really, really wanted that pen, right? So part of love is desire, the things that we desire. But we need wisdom to help us be guided to make good choices when we have that desire, right? And in a similar way, when just wisdom is present with no love, it can be kind of cold and empty, right? Love brings warmth to wisdom. So these two powers really work together. Wisdom, as I mentioned, is in the pit of the stomach, and love is located behind the heart. All of these 12 powers of humankind that we're talking about, that are unity teachings, have these locations as well as colors associated with them. And so this divine love deep behind the back of the heart is where it's located. And the pit of the stomach makes sense, right? The gut feeling that we get. Those gut feelings, it told me when I was shoplifting, uh-oh, right? I had that drop in the stomach feeling, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. We all know that feeling, don't we? Is there anybody here who's never had that feeling? So that tells us something, right? It gives us something, a sense of the feeling that is present, and sort of that, sometimes it's fight or flight, or more than that, how we might connect and meet and deal with whatever it is that's coming in our space that's causing that feeling. So wisdom is spoken of so beautifully and so poetically in the book of Proverbs. In fact, it's often known as Sophia as well, and it's the feminine voice that wisdom speaks both of what she is and how important it is to have wisdom. So this is how it goes, a few of the poetic excerpts, and these are just a few excerpts. It goes on and on. Wisdom cries out in the street. In the squares, she raises her voice. At the crossroads, she takes a stand. At the city gates, she speaks. How long will you love being so ignorant? Hear my instruction and be wise, and do not neglect it. Keep my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Blessed is the one who finds wisdom. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing that we can desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, and riches and honor are in her left. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. Wisdom is sweet to your soul. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call insight your intimate friend. Happy is the one who listens to me, watching daily at my gates. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I want a little more of this wisdom thing, don't you? But wisdom, what is it then? So what is this thing we call wisdom? A lot of times we confuse it with knowledge. So knowledge is basically what is added to us, right? It's what we learn, it's information, and it's really processed in the intellect. So knowledge is really something that we expand in the intellect. It's a good thing, it's just not exactly wisdom. Wisdom is more the innate knowing inside of us that gets honed through our experiences. It's, as I mentioned, it's not located in the brain, it's located in the gut. It's a whole body experience, wisdom. How we gain it, how we access it, how we feel it, how we come to know it, and how we become it, how we express it. As comedian Jeff Foxworthy says, wisdom equals knowledge plus scars. Or as British journalist Miles Kingston makes this clear distinction between the two by saying, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is knowing not to put tomatoes in your fruit salad. That one, I love these kinds of statements that make it really clear, right? In New Thought, we often teach in a method we call the Socratic teaching method. And that literally does come from the way that Socrates taught. And so the idea is that it's a belief that there is a wisdom within all of us, and the teacher's job is just to draw it forth. And in Unity, we often consider all of us sort of teachers to one another, so we draw forth that wisdom with one another. And I got a chuckle out of Lena St. Michael, who was in our Unity Basics class a couple of weeks ago. And she said that when she first came into New Thought, she's been involved in religious science and agape, which are other forms of New Thought beyond, in addition to Unity. And she said she came into class and she kept waiting for class to start. And it was, 5 minutes in, and all the participants were discussing and talking, and it was 10 minutes in, and, she kept looking at her watch thinking, when's the teacher going to get things going here? 45 minutes into class, she realized that is the class. So it is through the sharing of our own ideas that we learn, right? And we all probably know from firsthand experience that when we are asked to go within and to discover our own thoughts, our own feelings, and put something in our own words, that it leaves a much more lasting impression than if we just hear it from somebody else in their words. And so it's not to say that there isn't a place for that kind of learning and that kind of knowledge. It's just that wisdom really gets tapped from the within, from the experience, once again. A wise teacher will sometimes hold back and give somebody else the space, even though they may know the answer to the question that's been asked. They wait for the person to explore within themselves. I remember having a student that didn't like the style at all at Unity in Columbia, where I used to be the minister. And she would just get so aggravated. She's like, but I came here because I want you to tell me the answer, And so it was that kind of, so sometimes I would say what I thought, but there was that frustration of I want you, the so-called expert, to pour the information into me so I can leave and know what I need to know, So there's a dance there that can happen, right, between knowledge and wisdom. But we now, get a little bit maybe more of that flavor of the distinction. So love and wisdom, as I mentioned before, are interrelated. And in the powers, they are represented by disciples and also women of the chalice, women of the Bible. And so in the case of love and wisdom, we have another set of brothers, James and John. James represents wisdom, and John represents love. And Salome is their mother. So Salome is the woman of the chalice who also represents wisdom in this case. And so in the Bible, it's really interesting because these people who are supposed to represent the power, it's not like they come in with it. Well, we all come in with it, right? But you don't see it really demonstrated initially. The whole idea is that they evolve into that power, just like us, right? So over time, we develop that understanding. So James and John, of all people, these guys are rough-hewn fishermen. They probably swear like sailors. They're really rough, tough guys, and they're forceful, they're aggressive. They show up in this demanding kind of way. For example, the disciples and Jesus go into a village, and they're not really made to feel welcome there, which is a big thing at those times because hospitality was a big deal. People were traveling a long way on foot, and it was expected that you would give good hospitality. But for various reasons of prejudice and so on, they weren't warmly welcomed. And John and James were so angry that they begged Jesus to pray so that fire would rain down upon the village and destroy everybody in it. So Jesus lovingly nicknamed them the sons of thunder. On another occasion, they knelt at Jesus' feet. It was terrible timing. Jesus is trying to tell everybody that he's not going to be with them very long. And they're quick to kneel beside him and say, allow us to be on your left hand and your right hand when you rule the kingdom, And then similarly, Salome, who was also a follower of Jesus, James and John's mother, comes to Jesus and asks the same thing. Let my sons be at your left and your right hand as rulers helping you in the kingdom. And Jesus is like, oh, no, you guys don't get it. Let me explain a little bit more about what this means, because you're not really understanding what true power is. A true power, true leadership, or if you want to call it rulership, which isn't what he was calling it, is being of service. So it's not the ways that you're thinking. I'm wondering if maybe he named the boys Sons of Thunder because of Salome, because I think they came by it honestly, this sort of forcefulness. But so they recognize, or hopefully they recognize in time, because we see over time John becomes the beloved disciple, right? He grows into love. And so there is this sense of shift that happens. So what is Jesus saying when he says a true teacher or leader, true power is about service? He's really saying that it's about, what would be included in that are things like humility, right? He's pointing to humility. And he's also pointing to wisdom in the terms of spiritual discernment. And so let's take these two aspects of wisdom and break them down for a minute. Humility, this aspect of wisdom, because sometimes when we think of somebody wise, we think of like kind of a regalness, right? But wisdom is also, and it can have regalness, but it also has humility, maybe more so than anything. There's a sense of humble wrapped into somebody who is wise. Some things that a wise person might be willing to say or might say is, I was wrong, or I apologize, or I don't know, or I need help, I'm listening, I'm willing to change and to grow and to let go. All of these things are honest statements of somebody who has wisdom, a sense of there's also some sense of faith in there, some sense of a confident knowing that I can be vulnerable, I can be open, I can not know, because it's in my not knowing that I leave space for spirit, right? It's in the not knowing that we receive. And so it's through the practice of humility that we are reflective and we are open and we are willing and we are listening. It's all of these humble ways that actually lead us to a greater experience of sageness or wisdom. The Buddhist monk Ajahn Chah says, you have so many opinions and you suffer so much from them. Why not just let them go? Makes it sound so easy, right? But it's that clinging to, I know, I've got the right answer, I've got the information, I am smart, I am intellectual, all those things that sort of close us down to being like a beginner's mind, an I don't know mind, a willing mind to learn and to listen and to grow. And it is through that that we really attain the kind of power of wisdom, that we touch it and activate in the way that we're talking about. So we could say in our silent times to ourselves, or even begin our day with, I don't know, teach me, divine presence. Try that out and see what kind of day you have. To sit in the silence for a few moments and then say, begin your day, I don't know, teach me, divine presence. And then pay attention, reflect on what comes your way throughout the day. Truly, we can say then, I learn something new every day. So this power of wisdom is sometimes even called the power of discernment or the power of judgment. And there is this wonderful wise fool that I like to draw upon when considering these kinds of things, this shade of any kind of wisdom, but especially discernment. And it's Nasruddin. You've probably heard me speak of him, or you've heard other people tell stories of Nasruddin, who comes out of the Sufi tradition. He often shows up as the wise fool. And so this particular story comes from The Beggar, the King, and the Secret of Happiness. It's a book by Joel Ben Izzy, and he tells this story of Nasruddin. There was a devotee of Nasruddin who really wanted to find this master and ask him this question that was burning in his heart. And so he looked for him for years, and he finally came upon him in a marketplace sitting on top of a pile of banana peels. Nobody knows why. And he says, oh, great teacher, I have been looking for you. I have this question, and the question that burns in my heart is one that burns in everybody's heart. So please answer me. What is the secret to attaining happiness? And Nasruddin thinks for a while on his banana peels, and he thinks for a while more. And then he says, good judgment. And the student says, but how do we get good judgment? And Nasruddin says, experience. And so the student says, yes, but how do we obtain experience? And Nasruddin says, bad judgment. Seriously, it's true, isn't it? We all laugh because we know it's true. That's how we learn, through our experiences. And I actually do want to talk to you about something pretty serious, because I feel that there's an opportunity for something to arise right now that we don't want to arise, that would be poor judgment. And that is that, first I'm going to start with this, we are social beings, right? Human beings are social beings. I mean, even if we're introverted, we are social beings. And as Unitics, sometimes that's even ramped up more, right? There's a lot of people in Unity that are very social. Not all, but many people are social. And we're coming out of this pandemic where a lot of people have been isolated. So that burning desire inside to connect, to make friends, to reconnect with old friends, all of that is really heightened. And so there may be a temptation to hotwire our connections, but we don't want to do that. That would be bad judgment. So let's take a look. This comes from the social scientist, the researcher, Brene Brown, where she talks about this idea of hotwiring connection. Let's take a look at this video.
Vault. The vault. What I share with you, you will hold in confidence. What you share with me, I will hold in confidence. But you know what we don't understand? And this came up over and over again in the research. We don't understand the other side of the vault. That's only one door on the vault. Here's where we lose trust with people. If a good friend comes up to me and says, oh my God, did you hear about Caroline? They're getting a divorce. And it is ugly. I'm pretty sure her partner's cheating. You have just shared something with me that was not yours to share. And now my trust for you, even though you're gossiping and giving me the juice, now my trust for you is completely diminished. Does that make sense? So the vault is not just about the fact that you hold my confidences. It's that in our relationship, I see that you acknowledge confidentiality. Here's the tricky thing about the vault. A lot of times, we share things that are not ours to share as a way to hotwire connection with a friend, right? If you don't have anything nice to say, come sit next to me. You know, that's our, yes or no? Like, our closeness is built on talking bad about other people. You know what I call that? Common enemy intimacy. What we have is not real. The intimacy we have is built on hating the same people. And that's counterfeit. That's counterfeit trust. That's not real.
Take that in, huh? Yeah, some direct teachings on this idea, right? That, you know, why would we, and to bring it into some compassion, why would we gossip about others and judge others? Because we have a need for connection, and we're looking for a fast way to get that need met, right? That's this idea of common enemy intimacy and hotwiring connection. And always we can come back to the truth of our powers, love and wisdom. What better powers to teach us about true friendship and true connection? Because it is through getting to know people, and there's no fast lane to that, right? We get to know people over time. We get to know people after having experiences together, after listening and sharing and going through things and supporting and encouraging and allowing. And so just giving some spaciousness to that, to recognize that trying to jump over isn't going to serve us. And in our need and in our desire to reunite at Unity, I hope that we will really take this to heart and stay with the path of wisdom, to make the wise choices as we connect in joy and connect in true friendship. So those meaningful connections and the upliftment that connections can bring are here for us. It's here for us. We have an amazing community. So let's allow ourselves to rebuild in such a way that we really formulate those bonds in a strong and trusting way and welcome in new people to a place that really holds that in our hearts and in our guts. So when in doubt, we can ask ourselves, is this mine to share? Or we can ask ourselves, what is my motivation for wanting to share this information right now or wanting to make this judgment right now? And we might recognize that there's an innate need that we have. And perhaps we could stop ourselves and ask, how could I get this need met for connection, for friendship, for love, whatever it is that we're seeking in that moment? And how might I make a truer connection? And so we can, just a little self-reflection, or even just stopping ourselves after we've done something that we realize, oh, that didn't feel very good. Sometimes I'll be having a conversation with Brenley, and usually with our partners, we just give each other freedom, right? To just say whatever's on our minds and hearts for the most part, unless it's about that person, then it's a little bit, softer shoe. And sometimes I'll just stop. Yesterday I stopped myself in the mid-sentence and she said, what? And I said, nah, I don't want to say that. Just realize, I don't want to put energy into the world in the spirit of venting that is creating ickiness, So it's just some things are just, we can just have it within ourselves and find a healthy way to let it go. And we don't have to speak it into being and amplify that kind of energy that we don't want in the world. So it's that process of self-reflection, or as conventional wisdom would say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Sometimes conventional wisdom really has something available for us, right, that reminds us. And if you notice someone else going down this slippery slope, this might get a little harder because it might feel sort of righteous, right, to step in and to say something. But maybe you can find a way that's gentle enough, like, oh, on Sunday there was a talk around this topic, and I would love for us to see that together and talk about it, or, whatever it may be. Quote Brene Brown, or send a link, so it doesn't have to just be, well, I don't ever do that, that doesn't usually, that goes over about like a lead balloon, right? So finding ways that we can help each other without it feeling diminutive in any way. Proverbial wisdom says, say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call insight your intimate friend. And so this insight, this idea of intuition is certainly a key part of wisdom, isn't it? It's what we think of when we think of the gut, right? Having a gut feeling. And so intuition is following our innate guidance, trusting that we have that, and trusting the body's wisdom to show us and to allow us through sensation to know what it is that we need, whether it be emotional, mental, or physical. So it's that in this nerve center that connects the love power and the wisdom power is behind all this, behind the heart and the gut. There's this ganglionic nerve center that is actually, it's really packed full of nerves, right? And it's part of the automatic nervous system, which means that it's part of the unconscious. So that's more the gut feeling, right, and then it becomes conscious, right? So it's that kind of, it's the wisdom that comes out of the body and then becomes mentally conscious for us. So this is a part of it. Sometimes it's called, this area is called the body's brain or the second brain. So if you think about, so often we're so focused on the intellectualism and the knowledge and the information as the brain, but this work is sending us to the body's brain, to the second brain, to really heed that. So our spiritual work is to trust the body's wisdom. The body speaks to us all the time, doesn't it? It's a little, I'm a little tight, I'm a little uncomfortable or comfortable. I feel really open today, or I feel kind of constricted. I have pain. So allowing ourselves to go into dialogue a bit with what the body is trying to tell us can really lead to some powerful insight. Happy is the one who listens to me, wisdom says, watching daily at my gates. speaking to the daily practices of things like prayer and meditation, perhaps yoga or martial arts or whatever it is that you do that grounds you and that allows you to feel the presence of the divine and to access some of that wisdom that is available to us, those insights and ahas that are available to us, or simple guidance for our day. Wisdom is often seen as divine light, and it's represented by the color bright yellow like the sun. So it's a reminder of the sun can be a reminder, honoring the sun as it rises and as it goes to bed at night, to recognize that daylight and that space of the warmth of the sun is where everything gets revealed. It's where clarity is seen, where truth is known. So if there's two things that we could walk away with from today, it would be to remember the primary ways that we access this power of wisdom. First and foremost, of course, is this idea of going within, listening to spirit, trusting our innate knowing, our intuition, and trusting our bodies. And the second is to pay attention to and to engage fully in our life experience, because it is through our life experience, as we remain open and humble, that we will be willing, we can be taught by life, right? We can be taught by each other. We can be taught by the divine in ourselves and the divine in all of life. So for our affirmation today, the first statement is really this practice statement, and the second is more of a common affirmation, a statement of truth. Let's say these two together. I don't know. Teach me today, divine presence. Divine wisdom guides me, and I follow its lead. And so it is. Off on a week of full-out wisdom, right?
Thank you, Kristen. I can't tell you how many times I've felt, do I trust my gut on this? I mean, it's a phrase that just is always right there. So thank you for enforcing that. Our prayer chaplains today are available after this service to provide personal, maybe professional too, prayer support. If you are a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. Thank you. Our prayer chaplains wear the lavender stoles. Whether you have a joy or a concern on your heart today, praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
Now, let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, so shall we receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
For your convenience, there are a variety of ways to financially give to this community. In addition to checks and cash, you may download the Give app, use the credit card, debit card envelopes provided on the clipboard in the back of each chair, or set up bill pay through your bank. Those of you at home may click on the Donate button on the Watch Live page.
I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me. Together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
So I stop and listen to the tree. God in my heart. Take it, Melissa. I talk to God in my heart. I talk to God. Hello, God, in my heart.
All right, Heart Dream goes country. All right, we give thanks for the givers, for the gifts, for the abundant good that continues to flow through our ministry as each one of us. Let's bless it together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. So the children, to keep them safe, we are not having them come in the sanctuary right now. I know it's a little heartbreaking because we love seeing them. But if you want to see the kids, they're probably out in the playground or around, so you can connect with them after service. So let's bless them and give thanks for the teachers and the youth as well. Together, children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. Our traditional prayer of protection is something that we often close our service out with, so I invite you to just hold anybody or anything in particular, or maybe our entire world, in your prayers as we speak this prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. For our peace song, we invite you just to receive. And if you wish to hum along, Mirabai and Steve are going to sing it for us. Enjoy.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God ever present, and we all believe. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Every step I take, let this be my joyless vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
You are the light and the love and the wisdom on earth, so let your light shine, have fun, and spread joy.